maybe started here.
How long is this gonna take?
I think we can knock it out in an hour. Well, sorry, I can knock out the main parts in an hour, then I'll leave it to you guys to put the text and stuff like that on. But
I like the shape itself.
I think what we can do is we can basically, I'm gonna use the section as the starting point for this and just strip a bunch of stuff off of it. And I was just looking at it, I think the only thing we really need to adjust a little bit is this wall. So we have to find where that wall is based on our plan. I'll show you what I mean. So if we, here's like a partially completed section. And here's the one we're trying to do. And so we have this outline already. So we can just keep that. We're gonna have to knock the middle stuff out, like the interior part out. We have this outline actually, and even this, but we just have, right now our section is cut here. So we need to find where this line is, and then the hatches and stuff will go up to there, and this will be brick. And then it's kind of just a matter of finding these lines and offsetting down to the windows and things like that, which is easier, relatively easier than what we've been doing before. So to get started, just gonna check one more time here. So they have relatively deep footings. Okay, so the footings I'm gonna leave alone for now. But I am gonna kind of hollow out. Maybe I'll keep the lines for the subfloor. So I'm gonna come to here. So the plywood layer on top of that's on top of the joists I'm gonna keep, because that's gonna be something we're a point that we keep offsetting from to find our windows and other stuff. And otherwise I can start to delete things. So I'm gonna knock out the floor except for that line that I just kept. I'm just looking to keep the exterior lines. Oops. Just gonna move my my house a little bit closer to my plane so I can see what's going on here. And so to get this line at the front where the edge of the house is, I'm just gonna pull it from the plan. So that's this line here. So I'm just gonna strike a line and have it go through my chimney. Okay. Trying to find an easy way to do this, but it's more complicated than I was hoping. Okay. Maybe I'll start with the garage. 2745 wide by 2195 high garage doors. Okay. So I know the width. They're right here. So I can copy these lines to give me the width of the garage doors. Okay. And so this is the slab right here. And it comes up from there. This is the floor, and the doors are 2195 high. Okay, so I managed to make some progress, basically just kind of deleting a bunch of stuff in the middle. And what I've really, the strategy I've been using is to, the same as we did for the section where I have the plan below it, and I'm kind of pulling the lines where I need to. So for instance, to find the door, I went all the way to the bottom of the drawing and pulled the lines of the door up here, so I could figure out where it is. Seeing where the wall of the garage meets the house, where this column is, and that can help you inform how to draw the roof. Same with the garage doors. The approach that I took is more complicated than I thought it would be, so I'll upload what I'm doing now. I'll show you guys quickly how to do the rest of it. The rest is actually going to be quite easy because basically we just find the windows and the heights of the windows, and then it's really just drawing in. Like once you know exactly the rectangle of where the window goes, and it's just an exercise in offsetting for the frame and the window pieces and stuff like that. So it becomes a much easier task. So I'll still finish that up and I'll upload this, but I'll do it again on Thursday with the other class, and I'll try to have a simpler approach. The whole thing should take about like an hour of difficult drawing and an hour of adding notes and stuff when you do here there. So I'll show you what I mean with the, like this is basically the underground part, so we're showing the footings and foundations here. These are the garage doors, that's the front door. So I'll show you now how I could find, let's say, the bay window and how to draw that. So what I can do is I just go down to the plan, or let's do a simple window to start with. So here's a window next to the door. So I'm just going to grab a line and extend it all the way up, make sure it's straight, and then I'll say copy. And so what I can do here is I can copy another line here for the frame, and then the exterior of the window. So I know that that window is right here. And then I can go to this drawing and I can see, okay, the window is exactly the height of the door. So maybe I'll do this in another layer. I'll do it in the hatch layer. And so now what I can do is draw a line projecting from the door and the bottom of the door. And then I just grab a rectangle to simplify this. That's what I'm after when I'm drawing windows, just the outside rectangle, and then I can delete all these other kind of temporary lines that I've created. So that's the window, and now you can kind of choose the aesthetic you want. So in here, they probably give it a 50mm offset, and then they have a glass pane, and some kind of wainscoting or another glass pane or something like that. So offset 50, or maybe it's a smaller, maybe they have a 25mm frame. Then it looks like, 3/4 of the way down. Here you can kind of guess. You can just say, okay, I believe it's somewhere here. This window panel, I'm going to offset in by 50mm and trim over here. We have a little decorative thing over there. So something, I'm not sure what pattern they're showing there, but something like that. And so now we have, you can draw it it's your choice exactly what look you want to give it. So that's how we could do that window. Here, this window, it gives us some dimensions. So we can do a similar thing here. Above floor level, it's 1218. So this green line here is my floor level from the beginning, my subfloor. Offset 1218. 874. And hopefully, I'm close, it should be 621 to the next floor. 628. So I'm a few millimeters off, but it's okay, we'll live with it. So again, I just draw that rectangle now that I've defined it, and I can clear out these construction lines. This one looks like it has a 50 millimeter offset, approximately. Maybe another 50 millimeter offset for the window pane, and then it's got a bit of a sill. So offset 50, 50. The shape, this V shape points to the left. So what I can do is go in here, like so, and that just shows that the window opens. It hinges towards the point where the point is. So the hinge is here, this part opens. So we have this window. They have a little bit of a ledge under it, so I can draw that in right now. And with stuff like this, you can just kind of guess. So I'm going to say offset 50 out, and I'm going to say offset 100 down. This masonry ledge they have for it. Mirror. I'm just going to simplify it by drawing a rectangle and delete the pieces. Now for the bay window, you can basically just block it off with lines. It's not really, it's sort of drawn separately, so we're just going to draw the outside lines and deal with it separately. And then we can start to hatch the brick on the first level. So you can start to see that after we get the windows in, like just blocking them in. I don't have all of the details of the door. There's a bit of glass on the door. There's a few lines on the garage doors and stuff. But those are kind of aesthetic little details you can add after, and you can sort of, it doesn't have to match the drawing. You can use your own imagination with that. But as you start to block these parts out, you can start to see how you can really start to hatch out where the brick goes, where the roof goes. And the second floor window, there is one up here. We haven't done a second floor plan, so you create a guess basically where it goes. You can use the dimensions provided in the drawing. So there is some stuff that will give you an indication of the height. So from this window, we can offset up and up again to get the height of that. And the block of that 290mm brick can also probably be transposed here as a detail later as well. But this is how you block this one out. And we've already blocked out this window, this bay window. So there we would simply use these dimensions to give us the horizontals. And again, it's just sort of an aesthetic exercise in drawing the window. So I'll draw this one right now with you guys. And then it's the same idea here, you're just kind of copying and stretching stuff out. Does this make sense so far? Or is it? I know I'm not happy with how complicated it was to get the shape of it. So I'll redo it again and I'll give it to you in a simpler format. But you can still, the video is still there, so you can follow along with what was done. So here, from the top of this window, we go up 621, and then 700. Or sorry, 621 gets us to this floor level, so we just go up 700. 1530. And then, oops, 290 for the brick. And since these dimensions right here correspond somewhat to the bay windows as well, we can keep those overall lines in place. I'm gonna guess that this window is, I don't know, 300 offset from this window, and that it doesn't give us a dimension for it, that it is 1.5 meters wide. So that's about how we get there. These windows, if we provide some dimensions going vertically, to give you the height of these windows. And so the bay windows, you simply extend from the plan, you find where the edges of the window are, you pull them up to your drawing, then you offset the dimensions that they give you for the elevation. And that lets you block out where the windows go. And then it's, you can, I would add a little bit of detail to this before you submit it, so maybe just put a couple of window panes in, just like even a grid is enough. You don't have to start drawing individual window panes or anything like that. So I would give it a grid, and that's it. Once you have those windows in, it's really, so the trick is to get the outside shape, and again, I'll try to find a simpler way to give you guys that. Then the next trick is to find where your windows are, or in the case of the bay window, just sort of block off that whole area. And after that, a lot of the work kind of does itself, because you're just doing a lot of hatching. And once you have those areas, it just, the detail makes it look like you've done a lot of work. Not to take away from anything you guys have done, but it goes, that part goes relatively quickly. So once you get to this level, I think you're safe, maybe throw a few grids on the windows just to show the window panes. And then I would just start doing rotation, so start adding dimensions, text and things like that, and you're done. So I'll upload this. I'll try a second way that's a little bit easier on Thursday. I'll upload that as well. And that's it.